game. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now Wilson back into his end zone. Flush to his right. And now he's going to use his legs.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense.
A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
He's going to look deep for more. It's caught inside the 25. That one good for 37 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pumps from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. From the gun, it's Wilson. They'll roll him out right to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I like the play call. Roll him out. Give him a chance to run it or throw it. In this situation, he decided to fling it, but couldn't find his man open.
On 2nd and goal, Wilson escaping the pressure right. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down. Maybe the first big test of the season here on both sides. This is 3rd and goal. And it's a Seattle Seahawks touchdown. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. That time a 6-play drive. And it was Russell Wilson finishing things off with a touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. They were forced to punt on their initial drive of the new season. Now they're ready to go as they begin again with a 1st and 10. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. That's Jonah Williams, the 11th overall pick back in April. He was actually the first lineman taken. He's a guilty party. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. Give him 8 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be a 3rd and about 13. 3rd and long. What will Dalton dial up? And that will be incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. A great return there of 22 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And coming up on their second drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice. It all came together, but I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Wilson, that's complete to DK Metcalf. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf, his first NFL reception, goes for 6. And the Seahawks get the quick strike touchdown. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at his 4. And not a particularly good return here as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Play action here with Dalton. This one grabbed by A.J. Green. Takes it across the 40-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. Mixon with a first down carry. And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Here's Dalton. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 47. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
And here's a good way to kick off the drive, complete over the middle. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. David Moore, 35 yards. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Getting set to go again, Andy Dalton marches back onto the field. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. On second down, Mixon takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. I would like to see them open.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
He'll try and run it. Touchdown, Seahawks. And maybe the defense got so caught up in him throwing the football, they forgot he can take off too.
And you often hear about the quarterback being the unaccounted for guy as a runner. Well, even on a passing play, he's unaccounted for as a runner, and he turned it into a nice gain.
A very nice run, and it turns into 6 points. Myers connects on the PAT, and the route is on here in this first half. How does the send this one away? Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you've got a chance to come back to it when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter. On 2nd and 7, Dalton. It's a room to maneuver. Down the numbers. There he goes. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawks touchdown.
What you just saw there, first-round talent, second year, even more success. A pick six for a touchdown.
A great play. And it's tough for these guys, you've told me before, to adjust in the secondary as a first-year guy. So that sophomore season is big for them.
They really start to expand the playbook for them even more. Sometimes they dumb it down a little bit to make them comfortable year one. By year two, they should have all the nuances, and now they've adjusted to the speed of NFL play as well.
Showed right there. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he is out of bounds here on the return. Getting ready to go again. Here's Andy Dalton marching back onto the field. He struggled. His team has struggled. You talked to me a lot about looking to your leaders. Maybe it's time for him to put his mark on this game.
Agreed. And how that has to happen is somehow he's got to flush out everything that's happened so far and almost start over and get back to that confident level and know that he can play the game, because so far this has been a real struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the interceptions, trying to turn it around. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. He's got his man here. It's Green. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Now Joe Mixon. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. From the 41, Dalton. Well, the Bengals and Seahawks meeting here in week 1, and this is a combination that we haven't seen that often on the turf. If you look back to when the franchises began facing each other all the way back in 1977, but since then, just 20 meetings between the two teams. And the Bengals have won 11 of them, including the last meeting back in October of 2015. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, A.J. Green, that time. But it'll be 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Dalton on the draw to Mixon. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. So Dalton now. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them the lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. Now Wilson on 1st down. Sliding out of the pocket. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Rolling to his right. Going back to Moore. This time he's got him complete. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Russell Wilson in the final seconds of the first half as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. The Bengals drive about to get going. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
So we're at halftime here in the opener of the 2019 regular season. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome back to football.
All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the third. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Turns out to be a great idea to tuck that one. Good for 24 yards. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. He'll buy some time right. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. And the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson, eluding the pressure right, and taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Carl Lawson with a little how do you do as he gets in there for the sack. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Now it's Wilson rolling to his left. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up fourth. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
This will be fielded at the 8. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10 at the 9-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
A reminder, coming up later tonight, the Patriots unfurl their 6 banners. They play host to their rival Steelers. And then on Monday night, that's the one weekend of the year where you get 2 games to wrap up the week. Texans and Saints from New Orleans in the early game, then Broncos and Raiders. Vic Fangio's coaching debut, and the Raiders' final season opener in Oakland. That's the late game, 10:30 Eastern. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Green once again the intended receiver, and it's third down. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. And Dalton to throw. And that's incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
Now it's Lockett. Going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. He goes 67 yards on the punt return as his guys continue to pour it on.
Well, it certainly feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? No matter what they do, it's going to work. That might be the absolute crusher right there. A punt return for a touchdown.
Feels like there's been a lot of crushers in this game. This lead just gets bigger. Extra point up and through by Myers. And that will extend this big lead. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30, right about the 29.
Let's go.
The Bengals drive about to get going. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver. And it's third down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. And able to find Green. And they work this well upfield across the 45. They convert on third with a gain of 22. Green last year had the lowest numbers of his career output-wise, 694 yards, 6 touchdowns. But, of course, there was a reason for that. He was battling a toe injury the second half of the season. And, boy, did the Bengals miss his presence. They limped to the finish line, losing 7 of their last 8. They are happy to have him back and healthy. It's a jet sweep. And that would have stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Couple of plays sent him the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. Throwing, Dalton. And that is incomplete. Here's Ryan Allen now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Back now in Seattle, Washington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at the 20. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. It's a gain of 15, 1st down Seahawks. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this fourth quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning.
He's got the lane, and there he goes. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Chris Carson, 65 yards as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. I think all teams probably like seeing that schedule for the first time, looking at week one. Oh, good, we're at home. This is why you want to be home in week one. They're looking sharp.
And I agree with you totally. That's what you want. But there carries a little extra pressure with that as well, because you and I both know protecting the home field, winning your home games is paramount in this league. So you go into it, yeah, we want it, but now you actually have to go out and prove it.
Yeah, two sides to that coin, and looking like they're going to protect it here in this one. The Bengals getting set to go. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Tyler Lockett past the 20. He had his sights on the end zone. Return there, and his guys are going to have a 1st and goal down at the 3-yard line. And what can they do here on 2nd and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal. They'll try to run with Carson, and he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Chris Carson, already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend, as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Dalton looking middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Joe Mixon there out of the backfield. But now it'll be 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Dalton now to pass. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. They were blowouts. Let's go. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Flushed out right. Now he'll pull it down. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken short. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Let's go!
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. A draw play for Mixon. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now they run with Mixon. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So now the ball comes loose, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
As they say, this game hasn't exactly been one for the books. I mean, we're into the 4th quarter here, and now this happens, another turnover. Not one that they're going to hold up and say, yeah, this has been a banner day.
Absolutely. Still sitting on 0. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down. Oh, Wilson going to throw. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual
it.
Guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. They are down big. They have not scored a single point. I don't know. Are they so defeated at this point you just want to get in the locker room and get the heck out of here?
That is one way to approach it. Sometimes coaches say, that's it, okay? It hasn't worked all game. There's no sense in doing something now. Let's get out of here. No one gets hurt. But others will look at it and say, we still have an opportunity to do something.
On the line.
Exactly. You have pride on the line, execution as you look forward and get ready for your next game, and a message to your team. We're not going to quit. No matter what the battle is, we're going to finish this thing out.
So the victory here for Seattle. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well, you know.
The players on your team earned. Quickly upgrade your team at the end of. This is the player card. Here you can see your. This is the development. This is the abilities tab. Here you can see what.
Gas. I will not crash. They will not stop me. Tenfold. Copy. End zone. Watch me. Celebrate. I'm copy.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
No man, no man. Oh, deal with the hands. One. They do what they can. Got it on. Smash. Put on the gas. I will not crash. 100 yard dash. 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 Yeah. They can't catch up because they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. Stay on attack when they tackle like damager. They react and play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable.